Cryptocurrency is a new digital method of transmitting money, the most popular form of which is called Bitcoin. Today, there are more than 300 forms of digital currency, and it appears that this technological form of money is here to stay. Joining me now is Paul Vigna, Wall Street Journal reporter and author of The Age of Cryptocurrency. So, people kind of heard about Bitcoin, but
Right.
300 different currencies? That seems even more confusing.
Well, and there's even more than that, actually. The problem is that I would say if there's 300 or 500, whatever the number is, 295 of them are useless. And I don't mean that, no offense, other altcoins, but most of them are never going to achieve any kind of critical mass. Bitcoin is far and away the largest, then you have a couple of others, and you really will probably end up having a world of maybe a handful, maybe only one, but you will have a couple of different digital currencies. Most of them are never going to, like I said, they're never going to really achieve anything. They're kind of almost like vanity projects.
And so just to clarify for our audience, this isn't just the sort of Apple Pay or the Samsung Pay. I mean, there's an underlying technological difference here. We're not talking about a new way to use your credit card. We're talking about not using credit cards at all.
This is a completely different system. I mean, Apple Pay, which I haven't used it myself, but everything I hear, it's a very good system. Even something like M-Pesa down in Kenya, credit cards, any of these mobile payments, they are basically electronic products built on top of the old financial system. Whereas Bitcoin is a complete break from that. It is its own system. It is literally software. It's literally a protocol. Allows two people, you and I say, to send value between each other. It runs on computers. So it's a peer-to-peer system. It is maintained by the network of computers, so it has no central party running it. So there's no bank running it. There's no government running it. That is sort of the real kink in it that makes it very different.
So, okay, let's just go through a simple transaction. Let's say you're going to sell me a cup of coffee. This existing system that we have today, when I swipe my credit card and you give me the coffee and I walk away, what's happening versus if I was to do a Bitcoin transaction?
On the surface, the two transactions seem almost identical. Okay, you walk into a corner store, you get your coffee, you swipe your card, you sign the slip, if you even sign the slip, and you walk out. Say the place took Bitcoin. You'd walk in, you would have your mobile app, you'd have your wallet on your phone, you would read their QR code, you would send it between them, about 10 seconds, same thing, you walk out. The difference is with the Bitcoin system, that transaction is going to go through the protocol. It's going to take about 10 minutes to be confirmed. With the credit card, that is going to go through more than half a dozen financial institutions. It is going to take about 3 days to clear. You have your bank involved, the coffee shop's bank is involved, you have clearinghouses, you have security issues, all those things, all those companies, all those intermediaries take a little piece of that transaction, and it takes about 3 days to clear before the coffee shop gets the money that you gave them.
And the coffee shop is charged for that.
And the coffee shop is charged for that service. That service, right? About a 3% fee. With Bitcoin right now, that fee is negligible. It's almost nothing. People talk about in the future that might become higher as some of those back-end services get loaded in. But it's a cheaper, faster, more efficient digital system.
Someone sitting at home is saying, I'm willing to deal with that 2 to 3 day wait if I'm a vendor, because at least I know that there's a bank looking out for me. And I know that someone's checking Hari's credit, making sure that he can pay for this, right? So what about that layer of security?
Sure. In terms of whether or not you know the transaction is legitimate, what happens is every single transaction that is done through Bitcoin is put into what's called the blockchain. The blockchain is probably the key feature of Bitcoin. It is an open ledger. It is in the public realm. Anybody can look at it. Every single transaction is recorded in this open ledger so that everybody can see that this amount of Bitcoin were sent from this wallet to this wallet, so that there is no counterfeiting, there's no double spending, so that you know the transaction is legitimate. Has to be confirmed, and once it's in there, it is in there. Those Bitcoin cannot be spent by the same person again. You can do another transaction, obviously.
Right. But do they know that I bought a cup of coffee from you?
They know that your wallet spent the money. They don't know who you are. Your account is encrypted. Your identity is protected. Right. That's, in a world where identity theft is a big issue, that's something that is obviously advantageous. Your identity is protected, it is encrypted, but the transaction is in the public realm.
Now, that might be one of the reasons that this is also the currency of choice for people buying things that they shouldn't be buying in the dark web, whether it's drugs, et cetera,
like
right?
much like physical cash is the currency of choice for people buying things that they don't want to buy. Yes, the anonymity is an attractive feature, but it is not blanket anonymity.
So where is the government in dealing with this reality that exists today? Not just about regulating Bitcoin now, but going forward in the future. Are there things that existing transaction systems, existing governments, treasury departments can learn from some of the advantages that you're pointing out about these cryptocurrencies?
They're all trying to learn about it. At every level of government, you see that the regulators are very, very interested in this. They are taking it seriously. We're going to go down to D.C. There are groups down there that are very interested that want to talk about it. The regulators are keenly aware of it. Up here in New York, you have Ben Lawsky, who is runs the Department of Financial Services. They're coming up with a BIT license. They want to regulate. They want any Bitcoin business in New York to have a license. So regulators everywhere, to different degrees, there are different points of it, but they are all interested in it. They want to know about it. They want to bring it in from the wild, if you want to put it that way, because there is an actual advantage to this. This is a very clean, efficient system. It's what we say, it is digital money for a digital age. And I think once people glean that, it becomes a very sort of clean thing. Oh yes, of course, it makes sense. I mean, you're going to see Apple Pay take off. People are going to say, oh yes, this makes sense. It is an easier way to do what I'm already doing, which is running half my life online. So you're going to see regulators get interested. You're going to see Wall Street get interested. I think that's actually one of the biggest changes is in Wall Street's attitude towards this over the last year or so. Very dismissive in the beginning. You are now seeing more and more institutions take a very active interest in this, because ultimately this is just a transaction system, and it's a faster, cheaper, more efficient one, and people are going to realize that, and they're going to figure out ways to harness it.
All right, Paul Vigna from the Wall Street Journal. Thanks so much.
Yeah, happy to be here, Harry.